Hello everyone, my name is Quinn, my pronouns are they, them, and welcome to my channel Lucid Moons. Here we are, we're going to continue on with my tarot and oracle deck collection. Today we are getting towards the end here. We're going to look at the first half of my indie oracle deck collection. So after this I'll have just one more video with the second half. I like to keep the videos semi-short. I don't like to have like hour-long plus videos taking up space on my phone. I don't even think I have space for it. So with that being said, let's jump right in. I'm so excited. So the first deck coming at you today is the absolutely gorgeous Thistledown Oracle by 3 Trees. So this is just, as I've said before, I am absolutely obsessed with 3 Trees Tarot and everything that they create. I will probably buy every deck that they come out with because I'm just so in love with Adam Ohler's artwork and I just adore this world that they've created. I think that it's both really beautiful and also adorable. I love animal decks. I love nature decks. I love the earthy vibes, the earthy tones. And this is just a really sweet oracle. It has really expansive keywords, so it's very usable right out of the box, and it goes with a lot of other decks. It's a great deck to pair with other tarot, so I love it. Can't really say enough good things about this deck and pretty much everything they create. So that is the Thistledown Oracle. Okay, next up is another favorite of mine. This is the Outgrow Yourself Tarot and Oracle by Akta Spaman. I don't really use this as a tarot at all. I just use it exclusively as an oracle deck for the most part. I've edged my copy in yellow. And this is just so much fun. This is a great deck for self-love, self-worth. It really has some very potent and powerful messages in here. Pain is growing for the Tower. So for me, I kind of do pay attention to the tarot card title if it's one that I, recognize. Sometimes it just has the Thoth keyword, like abundance. I don't know what card that is because I'm not versed in Thoth. But for the most part, I just check out the little kind of affirmations at the top. But I love it because sometimes affirmation decks are really corny, or really like fluffy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But this deck really is not like that. It really is a hard hitter and it'll tell you exactly what you need to hear in a way that's still loving and gentle and maybe a little bit playful and a little bit sassy. So yeah, Outgrow Yourself is a huge favorite of mine. Just absolutely adore that deck. Okay, moving right along, I have 2 decks that are both from Olivia Rose. Oh my god, please don't look at the dog hair. Let's start with the Heart's Eye Oracle. Yeah, Olivia Rose is the name of the artist. I am in love with her art. I think it's absolutely amazing. The Heart's Eye Oracle is a fairy-based oracle deck, and I have this one currently out on my desk. It's one I'm using for the month of March. Those are the backs. And it's so pretty. It's so freaking pretty. Once again, really expansive, kind of simple keywords, but I like that. Very usable right out of the box, like I said. That's something that I appreciate in an oracle deck. Not always, but a lot of the time. I found a couple decks that kind of pair with this. I'm having a hard time finding decks that pair with it aesthetically really well. I've definitely found a couple that aren't a bad aesthetic match, but the messages are really working well together. So I do want to buy Olivia Rose's mass market tarot deck at some point, the Mind's Eye, But, you know, I'm not in a rush to buy mass market decks right now. I'm trying to do a lower buy year, as I've mentioned before. So, you know, I'm not rushing to buy that one at this moment. I have 2 other amazing decks by this artist. This was the earlier one that she had created, and the guidebook is one of those. This is one of my Oracle pet peeves where it's not in alphabetical order and there's no numbers or any like system. This one I don't even think has an index. So that's really irritating. You just gotta like flip through and find the card if you want to use the guidebook. But luckily it's not like a super guidebook dependent deck, and she did correct that little issue in her next Oracle deck, which we're gonna look at right now. I know the Heart's Eye was unavailable and then it was available. I don't know what the status is right now, if it's currently in print or not. But yeah, it's a really lovely deck and it has a really unique art style. Okay, this is the Mermaid's Purse. So the Heart's Eye was fairy based and this one is Mermaids. So I'm saving this one for the summertime. And I'm sorry y'all, I have noisy neighbors that you might be hearing in the background, and their dogs and stuff. These are the backs, super gorgeous. And this one is very similar, but it has like a dark background, and I feel like it really makes the colors pop and feel a little bit more vibrant. I'm really excited to pull this one out. I think I'm going to use it in like June and July with my other ocean and water themed decks. That's my favorite time of year to use those, that little mini collection. But the one thing I want to say about this artist's art that I find really cool is that all of the fairies and all of the mermaids, they aren't really like, oftentimes when we see, how do I say this? Oftentimes when we see mermaids and fairies depicted in pop culture or even in a lot of other tarot and oracle decks, like more times than not, it's like all white people, which, you know, that is what it is, and people might have their arguments for why they might make that choice. I've mentioned before, I dislike that. I'm like, how are you gonna make a how are you gonna make a deck of 44, 50, whatever, 78 if it's a tarot cards and not draw a single person of color? That personally bothers me. But the cool thing about these beings is that they kind of transcend our ideas of race, and they're very like otherworldly and ethereal, and I find that to be so amazing and so awesome, because they're not even human, so they don't have you know, race or ethnicity as we would see them, and I think that's really, really cool. So yeah, this one is really lovely as well. That is the Mermaid's Purse Oracle. Once again, I'm unsure of the current status of that one, if it's available or not. But if not, definitely check out that artist's mass market tarot deck, the Mind's Eye Tarot, because it looks really cool. And I'm sure it's going to pair amazing with both of these decks. So the next deck is the Folktailes Oracle by Hannah Willow. This is another one of my faves. Everything from this creator is like, I'm pretty sure hand packaged, handmade. It came, these are the beautiful backs. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. It came with squared edges, so I did round mine, but this is just one of the most precious and sweetest oracle decks. I'm just in love with this art style. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Once again, the keywords are very expansive. And this really just transports me to a magical world filled with gorgeous animals. And it has a very nighttime vibe, and it feels very peaceful and very mystical. And I love how you can see the texture of the canvas here. Oh my gosh, it's just so freaking lovely. I love, love, love this deck. So that is the Folktailes, tales as in like an animal's tale, Oracle by Hannah Willow. Definitely check that out. I believe I got that one on Etsy. Next up, we have the Faceted Garden Oracle by Claire Mack. So yeah, this is my only Claire Mack deck currently. I thought about getting the tarot deck that came out. I love this rainbow hollow gilding. Look at that. It's so amazing. This deck is so pretty. It's an interesting one because most of the words are not keywords. Some of them are or could be, but a lot of them are more like titles, like gemstone, lotus, right? So it's kind of guidebook dependent, but you need to, like, the guidebook basically is very limited. Like, it gives you like a sentence or two, which I don't know, I don't really have a problem with that. I think it leaves a lot of room for your intuition to kind of come in and help you determine the meaning of the cards. So yeah, I'm so sorry, you guys. My neighbors have a toddler, so you probably can hear him, but filming is now or never right now, so we're doing it. Okay, I'm back. I gave it a second. I think it quieted down a little bit. But yeah, I just think that the art style on Claire Mack's decks, it's like a really interesting collage style. It's so unique, it's so different, and the color palette is just exquisite. So I'm a huge fan of this deck. I just started pairing it with the Smoke, Ash, and Embers tarot, which by Three Trees again, and it is surprisingly such a good pairing. I'm really excited to work with that more in the spring and the summer this year. So yeah, I'm talking about all these pairings. I'm gonna do like a top 10 or maybe more like deck pairing video or something like that in the future. It's coming in good time. Okay, let's move right along. So this is the Wandering Soul Oracle by Rachel Jean. This is an interesting one. It's a really pretty, here's the backs. It has, I don't know if you can see, it has like a little holographic, and once again the rainbow holographic. That one shows up a little less on camera, but it's like this really pretty simple white backgrounds with black illustrations with like stippling dot work, which I think is so cool. And I just thought, you know, I didn't have anything quite like this, like a really simple paired back oracle deck that will just pair with so many different decks, right, because of that. And it has some really interesting keywords. I did, when I was working with it in the fall, I did remove at least one card because it was kind of giving like a new age starseed kind of vibe when I read about it in the guidebook, and that is just not for me. But you know what? That's the beauty of oracle decks, is like there's no system. So if you don't like a card, pull that shit out, stick it in the back of the box, or do whatever you want with it, use it as a bookmark, whatever, you know, throw it out if it bothers you that much. So yeah, so that was something that, you know, I think there's a little bit of a vibe to that in this deck, but most of these keywords and most of these images I think you can completely use without necessarily diving into one of those like weird like new age like sketchy you guys know what I mean. So yeah, this is a really pretty deck. Mine got some like, let's see, mine got a little bit of damage, like it got some like purple ink or something on it that I've been trying to slowly clean off little by little. But yeah, like it has some really, really interesting keywords that you don't see in a lot of other decks. So I do appreciate that about it. I'm not sure if this one is still available. I know this creator has several decks, including a few tarot and maybe another oracle. I'm not totally sure. Or maybe it's just different color versions of this. I don't really know. I did hear some rumors that they may be going out of stock, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to spread the spread false rumors, you know, and make people freak out. But yeah, that's why I did get that deck, because I thought it was really cool and I wanted to snag it. So I got this deck secondhand, and it came in this bag that I don't think is related to it, but anyways, I'm keeping it in there because it's nice and soft. This is an out of print oracle deck. I cannot pronounce French, so I'm not even gonna try, but it's the Desert Oracle, and this was published in the 80s, I believe, like late 80s. What's it say? 1986, from France. And this was sitting in my local buy-sell trade shop for literally months, and I kept looking at it and being like, okay, I know that's an out-of-print deck, but like I just don't know if this is like my thing, because it's really not my thing generally. But it was literally selling for $20, and it was just sitting there, and eventually I was like, you know what, I'm gonna snag this deck because it seems really unique, even though it might not be something that I normally would go for. And also it's cool because it's rare and it's vintage. So it's based on playing cards, so it has a connection to playing card divination, and all of the cards have this desert background, and it like lines up so you could create like a storyline, I guess. But like, check this out. Struggle, and there's like football players, or fall, and there's like a motor bicyclist. Like, it's got really modern images that are kind of jarring in a way. I think that's why I was like a little hesitant about it. But I mean, I have to say, I have never seen anything like this. I love this card. I think this is my favorite card in the deck because like, look how 80s, like 80s punk. Oh, I love it so much. But like, here's a gas station. Like, it's kind of a wild little deck of surprises, and some of the card, they all have like a playing card symbol in there somewhere, but some of them are obviously more prominent than others. Business, like, when have you ever seen business as a keyword in an Oracle deck? I don't know. I love these. Like, I love the people and the style. It's just so freaking cool. Phantasm, like, how awesome is that? So this is a really interesting deck. I'm glad that I made the choice to get it. It was a steal. And that is Oracle Dessuart. I'm so sorry. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. It's horrible, but it's the Desert Oracle. Okay, this is another favorite coming out right now. This is the Poesis Oracle. This is by Andrea Wan, W-A-N, excuse me. This is such a beautiful deck. I am such a fan. It took me a while to finally pull the trigger and buy this one, but oh my god, am I glad I did, because it's amazing. Here's the backs. Has this really nice matte gold edging, which I really like. And the interesting thing is, it's not like a stark white, it's kind of an off-white, which makes it kind of tricky at first for me to pair, but I found some good ones, so I'm excited to hopefully share those pairings soon. This art is just amazing. It's so evocative. Look at this. It's gorgeous. Every card has a poem that you can read on the artist's website or the creator's website, which I think is a really cool element to this deck. I love poetry, and I think that's just beautiful. But I really got it because of the artwork and the keywords. It's just so usable. Oh, just like finding beauty in your little space. This is me in my like 1-bedroom duplex with living with my partner and our 4 pets. This deck just feels like magic. It feels special. I adore it. I adore this one. This is the Poesis Oracle. That is a winner forever in my heart. I wasn't always into Oracle decks, you know. I kind of like took me time to kind of figure out what I wanted in an Oracle deck. You've probably noticed that I didn't have a lot of mass market decks. Like, I had a much smaller collection of mass market Oracle in my collection, and I think just because, I don't know, like a lot of the decks that I saw, you know, in the mass market when I first started reading tarot and oracle and trying to collect decks and things like that just didn't really speak to me. But I have found a lot of indie decks that I really, really love. And I'm really happy for that. So here's another desert themed deck. This is the Desert Illuminations Oracle. This is by Lindsay D. Williams, the same creator as the Desert Illuminations Tarot, which is one of my favorites. As far as I'm aware, I don't think this deck is currently available. It was like gone, I had missed it, and then I follow her on Instagram and she had posted that she had a few more copies, like few last copies that she was selling, and I was like, yes ma'am, please give it to me. And I am such a fan of Lindsay Williams' artwork, of the style. It's beautiful, it's colorful, it's funny, it's cheeky, it doesn't take itself seriously. I love seeing vultures in decks. Vultures is one of those animals that like a lot of people don't find to be really cute and adorable, but I personally do find them to be absolutely adorable. I owe that to my girlfriend, who has turned me on to a lot of weird animals that aren't necessarily cute and cuddly, but are still very, very special and very cute. Look at these scorpions. I'm obsessed. I love that she showcases a variety of cultures of the American Southwest. If you're new, I'm from Arizona. I've born and raised here. I'm 31. I've lived all over this state, and so I connect on a really deep level to this imagery and her decks. It's like a celebration of the desert, of the Southwest, of the many different cultures and the people that live here. There's pop culture references, there's freaking aliens, there's creators from New Mexico, so you know the aliens are very, very prominent, but I do think that it does have just like an overall Southwestern vibe that I love so much. So I haven't used this one much. I've played with it a little bit, but I'm going to be using it in the summertime, pairing it with the tarot and some other kind of what I would consider deserty themed decks. It's hard to love the desert in the summer here, so that's gonna be my little exercise in doing that and trying to find appreciation for the desert. Like, I don't think I'm gonna do it in the dead of summer because I'm gonna just be like, ah, fuck this. Maybe like May, when it's starting to get really hot, but it's not yet like completely miserable where you can't go outside anymore. Yeah. Okay, this is the Threads of Fate Oracle Lumen edition. This is the oldest Oracle deck in my collection currently. I'm gonna be honest. Look at these beautiful backs. Once again, it has that like matte gold edging, which is so nice. I got this one for the aesthetics and for the colors. Pink, purple, and blue is my favorite color combination. This one is just a natural, perfect match with the Moonchild Tarot. So that's kind of like its partner. But, you know, it has some really good keywords, and the guidebook has a lot of juicy information in there. And but I'm not gonna lie, it's just so pretty. Like, it's so pretty. It's so aesthetic. Look at that. There's different editions of this deck. I'm not sure if it's still available. I know they kept saying like it was going to go out of print, but then it didn't. I don't know the status. This is the only deck I have from these creators, and it's really the only deck I have that's kind of like this, I guess. Play. I love dolphins. It's cool because the backgrounds are so cohesive and so pretty, but they're all slightly different. It's so ethereal. Oh my god, it's a frog. I love frogs. Some of these keywords are like, I definitely would want to like dig into the guidebook and read about this one, but some of them you don't have to, so it's kind of like a mixed bag in that way. The golden egg of fate. There's also a cannabis leaf in here somewhere, which I think is really cool. I don't know if we'll come across it, but I like that. So yeah, that is the Threads of Fate Oracle Lumen edition. the only addition I would consider because I love the color palette. Okay, we are on to the very last one in this video. This is none other than the amazing, the infamous Reclaim Oracle by Little Darkness Press. This one, she's an old geezer. This is the first Kickstarter edition of this deck. So this was the first deck I ever backed on Kickstarter a couple years ago. And it has like a very thick, stiff, rose petal finish, which is, I don't mind a rose petal, but this is a behemoth, and it's a little hard to handle, but I'm not the type of person that the cardstock will prevent me from using a deck, really. I can make it work. I can riffle shuffle most things if I try hard enough. This one, it's really hard, but I could probably still do it, or I'll just overhand shuffle if I have to. But luckily the creator corrected the cardstock, and I believe the newer editions that are currently available are more of like a pretty matte finish. I'm not gonna lie, I considered like, ooh, should I upgrade? But I'm not gonna get rid of a perfectly good, perfectly functional deck just because of the cardstock. So this is the one I got, and I love it. I love these beautiful figures and all of the cards. They're so soft and they're so gentle, and yeah, this one kind of has a reputation. There's some printing errors in the Kickstarter edition that I got as well, but it's okay. This one kind of has a reputation of being like, you know, a difficult deck, like there's a lot of really strong emotions. This is a deck of emotions, and this is definitely like, you know, if you pulled this card, it might not be like the happiest, you might not be that excited, right? But I do think that it's well balanced. I think that there are a good balance of positive and negative, if that's what you want to consider it, feelings and emotions. This card is so powerful. This is the first card I pulled in this deck, and it was not too long after I had lost both of my grandmothers. So a few years back, so that one just made me start crying my eyes out. And you know, I can respect it. Not everyone wants that experience. That's totally fine. But I do. I want the deck to call out some of these challenging emotions that I might be feeling and make me confront it. And you can pull a card, or you can also look through the deck and choose some cards based on how you're feeling. And I think that's a really great exercise. You can journal about it. Wow, unworthiness. That one is very powerful. It's just so cute. It's so wonderful. It pairs so well with many, many decks, and I love it. I love Reclaim so much. I'm a fan. It's probably one of my fave decks of all time. I definitely prefer tarot decks, but like if I had to pick a couple Oracle decks, if I could only choose a few, this would probably definitely be one of the ones I would pick, just because I love it. It has a very special place in my heart. Okay, y'all, that is it for the first little chunk. I got one last video coming, and then I'll finally be done with my tarot and oracle collection. So thank you so much if you've been watching. If you haven't seen the other videos I've posted, check them out on my channel. I have indie tarot, mass market tarot, mass market oracle, and indie oracle. So definitely check them out. If you like what you saw, give me a like. If you want to subscribe, see more content like this, feel free to subscribe, but no pressure. And no matter who you are, no matter where you are, I hope the rest of your day is filled with so much magic and so much joy. Bye.